Hey, Shalom, Shalom. The brother Raza Allah from GMS London camp. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Lakach Hadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. Now, the scene is some latest article over here in the UK. Had a situation between two influencer females, felines. Basically, I call them the Bbl Demons. As you can see illustrated in this picture here, in the left-hand corner. This female basically was the woman that crashed into another influencer and took her life. Basically, there was a fight after the club in the nightclub that led outside, and there's arguing and fighting and a lot of cat scratching and all of that, as these women do because they can't really fight. So there's a lot of clawing away with the nails, grabbing up that dirty ass weave and so on and so forth. But either way, these two BBLs basically got into it, so-called influencers, and basically one female here decided to get into her vehicle and mow the other BBL demon down, and basically she got rolled over like roadkill. Early hours of 4:30 in the morning. It's all over the internet. They got video footage, going viral and all that of the situation. And these two known, basically these two influencers are AKA escorts, because that's what they don't want to say. That a lot of these influencers online, so-called content creators and all that, a lot of them are just, escorts, man. They do a lot of, they're a bunch of industry slaws. Just put it like that, man. Industry hoes, and they sell their, their box, online through the fucking Instagram social media platforms. They're just online prosies, basically. That's what they are. They go under the guise of being an influencer. I don't know who they're trying to. They ain't influencing none of these females to do the right thing though. But this heifer right here, she was under the influence of alcohol. She was in a fighting situation with a couple other broads, and then she managed to get into a car and mow down another female, another influencer with the BBL. And brothers know what the BBL stands for. Big booty Latinas or whatever they want to call them, with that plastic surgery and all that. And basically, at the time, it was she mowed her down. I'm going to show you a few pictures. She was still alive, so to speak, and then she later on today, or earlier hours of today, they pronounced her dead, in the hospital and all that. So now this woman was gonna go down for attempted murder. This black heifer here. Now they're gonna, up the ante, so to speak, and change the charges, probably to like manslaughter or something to that nature, because the bitch actually died in hospital. So she's totally fucked, man. She's looking like 20 to life in prison. Who knows, man? But it's not gonna be a short sentence. That's for damn sure. They're gonna throw the book at this bitch, and rightfully so, man. Because you heifers out here, you're out of control. You black women especially, you're out of control. You're out of your minds, and you've been given too much liberty to gather abroad, man. All because of this feminism BS movement, and from the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, that you women have prescribed to, and now you're just out here just causing mass chaos. Driving under the influence for one, which is that doesn't even make no sense. You getting behind the wheel and you're under the influence of alcohol or Molly or whatever else, other drugs you might have taken in that damn club, and then you got into a situation where you took another woman's life. But basically that was the judgment of the Lord anyway. He wanted to kill two birds with one stone. He got this BBL heifer to mow down the other BBL heifer, and now this bitch is gonna go down for a longer sentence in jail, and the other one's in the spiritual realm, man. And then at the same time, she even knocked down a pedestrian that was just basically, getting his bike, but he was in the same vicinity or area where she decided to mow the car down, drive the car into basically a wall. And he's like a 50-year-old man, and he's basically, they're saying he's got life-changing injuries, man, all because of this bitch here. Chaos, man. And these BBL demons, man, they're just out here just causing a ruckus, man. And it's all over supposedly a man, but then they're coming to find out that they're saying that now it's not even over a man. It's over fucking the fact that one of the influencers unsubscribed from another influencer's page, So she just decided to mow her ass down and kill her, man. What kind of dumb shit is that? Because someone unfollowed you, you decided to take their life. And that just shows you, man, the incredulity of our people, the nature of the nigger woman, man. She's just a maniac, man. And she's definitely, these women are definitely not supposed to be behind no driving seat and no driving behind the wheel, especially under the influence. But you know, women driving in general is, you never feel safe, man. I can say that personally myself. Anytime I've ever got in a car with a female, I've never felt safe with her driving, man. You just have to be extra cautious around these efforts, because they like wish-washy, man. Their emotions are like they're like the wind. Their emotions go up and down and round, man. So it's like you don't feel totally safe with these heifers. Anyway, it's just horrific scenes in Mayfair, central London as well. In front of all these damn cameras in the main central part of London, which is really predominantly the Edomite posh area, as they would call it. It says, as a female driver plows a car into influencer and pedestrians at 4:30 in the morning. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole story. I'll probably leave the link in the description box. But this is the heifer here, a closer look. Supposedly she was a ex-musician, as a finalist. She's been charged with attempted murder, but as I said, the charges might change, because now the female that she knocked over is basically dropped dead. And this is her here. She's trying to get into her vehicle. And these bitches, they like driving all these powerful cars, man. These GLEs and GLAs, whatever the GLCs, these high powerful, diesel type cars or whatever. A woman's not even supposed to be driving that kind of a powerful car, man, because they can't control themselves, man. They can't control their damn vehicle. And supposedly, it wasn't even just her, because as you can see here, you got another person that had their hand on the wheel as she was turning to get out of the scene, basically. She was trying to run away from the scene because she was getting jumped, and she just, managed to basically collide her car with with this heifer here. You can't really see her. Another light female, the Bbl Demon. If you saw the video, you see it clearly. She crashes that whip all over her body, and roadkill, just went over into the wall, and she ended up underneath underneath the wheels, and then she reversed back, and then you just see the bitch just out there, out of unconscious and bleeding from the temple. So she rolled over her whole body, totally just took her out, man. Alas. And then another guy that was standing right next to her by the chains and that where his bike was basically tied up, he had his back towards the car. So she just plowed into her and plowed into him, and he's having life changing conditions as well. That's what they're saying, and he's about 50 years old. And this is what happens when these niggas go out, man. They're a bunch of animals, wild bulls in the net. They want to be out there in the party scene and all that, drinking and taking all kinds of drugs, hallucinogens and all these type of weird drugs and shit, party drugs. And then they act a fool. And then a lot of them, like this female here, she's been given a driver's license to actually drive a car, and she's drunk as fuck. So it don't make no blood clot sense, man. But she's gonna get what she deserves, man, because she's one of them proud pump heifers, influencer. But she's really just an online escort, man. She's just an online prosy, going under the guise of influencer. Like a majority of these heifers out here, anytime you see them online, social media, so-called influencers or models, and a lot of them are just industry slaws being trafficked up and down, throughout the fucking galaxy, man, throughout the world. Because that's what they're good for, man. Sex, sexual objects, man. There's a lot of candy, eye candy and all that. So anyway, as I said, I want to leave the story in the description box. I didn't even want to go into the whole thing. But this goes to show, man, these Bbl demons are out here, and the spirit of pandemonium, man, which means all demons activated, is highly, active right now in these streets, man. These demons are super active right now. You got the Bbl demons that are out here, these women out here that are just lawless, and self-entitled, and held themselves not unaccountable for their wicked actions, because of the so-called white man gives them liberty to gather abroad for that feminism bullshit, man. And you can see this is a high-powered, powerful whip, man. And she's driving that shit like to say it's just a go-kart, madness. But anyway, so now she has to deal with the repercussions of her actions, man. Whether she was drunk or not, you took a person's life, man, and he was careless. And that's how usually these women are. They're very careless, man. But anyway, it's the 1 Timothy 5 and 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And that's what these women are doing. That's all they're doing nowadays. Just living in pleasure. Why? Because they made that Faustian bargain with the devil, the serpent, to be just a slaw and a harlot in the city, like it tells you in Amos. Our wives and our daughters are going to be harlots in the city, man. And no accountability, man, I'm sure even till now she probably thinks it's not her fault for what happened or whatever. She gonna get a reality check though. When they read that sentence out to her ass, then she gonna realize she fucked up, man. If she hasn't realized that already, if the alcohol hasn't worn off yet. But let me just jump down, man, because this is crazy, man. But this is the lifestyle, that our women, our daughters are involved in. They want to be online slaws. They want to be OF models. Basically online prosies, selling everything on the webcam, showing their private parts and all that. And they think that's some form of accomplishment in society because they're making money trying to get to the bag, as they call it. Just stupid. And then they pay for all these stupid surgeries and all that, BBLs and lip Botoxes and all this other shit. It's all vanity though, man. Even King Solomon said that. All this vanity is vanity, man. It's all wickedness, man. Fuck this place, man. And, fuck these heifers out here. This is why we say stay away from the nigger woman, man. The black mamba. Because as you can see why. Crazy, demented bitches, man. So yeah, them spirits are out here, man. I just wanted to push that fact that these Bbl demons are definitely out here. And these people are, enthralled with spirits for real, man. It's not even a joke no more, man. You have to be very careful and skeptical when you're stepping around these heifers, man. We go to the main point, man. Verse 14, right? It says, I will therefore the younger woman, she's quite young as well, marry, bear children, guide the house, giving on occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. And none of these women are doing that. The so-called traditional woman, that shit's out of here now, man. Traditional women don't exist no more, all because of feminism, man. And making these women think that they're equal to men. They can do what a man does. A man drives high-powered whips. The woman wants to drive high-powered whips. She wants to get to the bag. She wants to try and, outshine the men, usurp authority and all that. And do all she can to, tarnish her father's name, basically. Bring shame to the father's name. That's what a lot of these heifers are doing, man. When they want to turn themselves into online personas and prosies and all of that, man. Escorts and shit. That's what she was doing, man. Escorting, pay a couple $100 or whatever, and she, you can do as you will. It's a service, man. Just say prostitution is the oldest occupation. Going back to the ancient times, the beginning of time, basically, it's the oldest profession. But these women are definitely utilizing that in these last days, man. The OF models and all of that, it's crazy, and they're getting younger and younger. Supposed to be from the age of 18 onwards, but you're never too sure nowadays, man. Could even be younger heifers trying to get involved with that. And you know how Esau does on the black dark web. He'll fund that shit because he's into kiddie fiddling and all that shit, as these devils do. So anyway, yeah, these women are supposed to be housewives, what they call them. Wear modest apparel and so on and so forth. And that's not going on in society, especially nowadays, man. This place is the spirit of Babylon, which represents a whore. That's the same spirit that's throughout the whole beast system, man. And that women are following that straight up ideology of just being a top whore, you know, showing all their private parts and putting it all on display and for sale. They got a for sale sign every time you see them posting on the fucking social media accounts, pictures and all that. It's just basically saying that they're open for sale. You know, that's basically what they're doing. Anyway, we get this next precept. Romans 13, and because we're in the times that we're in now, it's supposed to be, you know, as they say, the demons come out at night. You ain't supposed to be in this rioting type of behavior, partying and being drunkard, and especially in the middle of the damn street, just being a drunk, you know, insubordinate arsehole, doing the most, you know, for attention and all that. You know, it says Romans 15, 13 and 12. It says the night is far spent, the day is at hand. And leaving verse 11, it says, and that knowing the time that is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. And the only ones that's watching for the signs of the times is the elect men, and you got a few sisters in that as well. But it's really the men that are watching. They're the watchmen, warning our people of the signs of the times, and to get right with the Lord, repent before the terrible and great judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai cometh upon you, man. We're coming closer and closer to that day. You know, you're one under one, the day of the Lord. You know, every day that goes past, we're creeping closer and closer to that day, man. And our people are still out here in the spirit of folly and mirthdom, man. Should we then make mirth? But that's why 2/3 ain't gonna make it on this side, man. They're gonna be cast out as dung, and there's gonna be weeping and gnashing of teeth. It says the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Here the return of the Lord is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Which the 2/3 they want to stay in darkness, man. That's why they come out, you know, in the middle of the night like a bunch of ghouls and goblins and gremlins, and all they want to do is party and, you know, commit acts of adultery and all kinds of wickedness going on. You know, all this trend setting shit and all that. We're trying to be part of the trend, and you know, it's all BS, man. It says let us walk honestly, as in the day, not in rioting, partying and bullshitting. It says and drunkenness. So that's what our people love to do. They love to get drunk out there. Not saying it's not good. You can't have a drink or two, but you're supposed to be in your house, your abode, if you want to get loose, so to speak. But even that, you're supposed to, you know, measure that with diligence, man. You know, you're supposed to do that, you know, modestly, so to speak, man, moderately. You know, it says not in chambering and wantonness, you know, just having sex with anyone, bare confusion, you know, unprotected sex, you know, or selling your box, you know, for some cheap change, you know, some cheap labor. It says not in strife or in envying. And apparently them two bitches, the Bbl Demons, they was envying of each other because one decided to unfollow the other. So she took that shit to heart, and then she plotted to kill her ass, basically, man. What kind of madness is this? So this is our people in a nutshell, man. They're into that rioting and drunkenness, especially nowadays, more than ever. Even though there's the club scene and all that is basically turned to shit nowadays, man. They're closing down a lot of these nightclubs because it's not as popping as it once was, you know. But yet and still our people still want to party and bullshit. They still want to do that folly and mirthdom, man. They're in the house of feasting instead of being in the house of mourning, you know. This is not in chambering and in wantonness, not in strife and envying. Yeah, our women are very undisciplined, man. Especially these Bbl heifers, man. They're very undisciplined. This is a pure example of undisciplined heifer. You know, she thinks she knows it all. Thinks she can do what she wants, and no one can tell her nothing. You know, because she's getting a little couple zeros in her account, she thinks she's the boss of shit. Now your ass is gonna be in jail, lamenting until the missiles come, man. You know, because you're a simple ass, man. You know, you're a simple Bbl ass. But anyway, let me read this last precept. I'm gonna close out. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 8. It says, a drunken woman and a gather abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. And that bitch was drunk as hell. But at the same time, she's in the middle of the damn street fighting barefoot like a damn monkey in a zoo, fighting barefoot with a bunch of other heifers, that can't even really fight. Don't even know how to throw a punch. To just out there just doing the most, scratching and crawling, And they gather abroad and causeth great anger, man. And these are supposed to be a man's daughters and, brothers, sisters and all that, or man's wives, supposed wives, man. They're out there just being a harlot in this damn street. And she will not cover her own shame. Yeah, they hold themselves unaccountable, man, for the wickedness that they're doing. They're always making excuses for their wicked actions, man. It says the whoredom of a woman. What does it mean, a whoredom mean? A woman that's a prosy, an online prostitute, like these escort bitches and so-called influencers are. The Bbl Demons, they're a bunch of whores. It says the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. Look at this bitch, man. You can see the lust in her eyes, man. She's got them succubus demons on her ass. That's basically what she is. She knows how to lure a man in. She tries to lure a man in and all that. She's a straight succubus demon, man. She's wearing a haughty attire, arse, legs, titties all showing, Look at that. You can see the side piece of her arse through her dress, not wearing even no bra, no nothing, no cleavage. Just everything's on display, man. And she got the haughty look in her eyes. Look at her eyes, man. Trying to lure men in, hypnotize men with her fucking hazel eyes, or whatever color that they are, man. It could be fucking contacts for all I know. But that's how these haughty women are. They dress in a whorish attire. So the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. And the other one that got ran over, her BBL was just on display. She was basically wearing like a see-through dress, and you could see her underwear and all that. And it was just there on display. And she got crushed underneath that car, and her spirit went back to the spiritual realm, man. And her BBL stayed on the earth, because that BBL ain't going nowhere but into the ground where it was formed, man. Before it got turned into a BBL. That shit is just disgusting, man. It says, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly. Yeah, that's why you're supposed to keep your daughters at home. But women ain't supposed to be out here in the middle of the night partying, man. The hell are you doing out there in the middle of the night? Look what's happened because you let your daughters go out. Because she wanted to go out with her friends. Look what's happened, man. People are dying. Bare confusion, man. Because you didn't keep her in straitly. Her dad didn't keep her in straitly. He told her you ain't going nowhere. She probably lives on her own. She probably don't even, live with her parents anymore because she thinks she's doing it, so to speak, making money. So she's not even under the order of her father no more, man. She's just out there parading in the streets like a little slaw. It says, if thy daughter be shameless, but she ain't shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. And that's what's happened. That's what you could call feminism. Giving women a much liberty, man. Thinking that they can be equal to a man or above a man. To usurp authority. It says, watch over an impudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against thee. Yeah, because these heifers, they're just confused, bemused animals, man. Felines. It says she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveller. You don't already know what that means. You got the got queens and all of that. The got queens. It says when he found a fountain, when he had found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. So she's just out here just getting used and abused, man. Some for money, some for actually do this shit for free. It says by every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. Yeah, she was an online escort. It's come out that she was into escorting, trying to live, that lascivious, lustful lifestyle, dealing with men, in the suits and ties and all that outside of the norm, and in private parties and that, getting passed around, man. Her and her homies, man. That's what they're into. Because they can get money out of it. Certain heifers are flying to Dubai, you know, getting flown out to Dubai to get pissed and shitted on, man, by them damn Arabs and that, the sheiks and all that, the sheiks, you know, to get pissed and shitted on for a living, and they come back with a, you know, a few zeros in their account. That's what they're doing. Nastiness, man. Do anything for the. That's why it says the love of money is the root of all evil, man. These women have sold their soul for some FRNs, man, and a Birkin. Them stupid ass bags that they love to parade around with, man. It says the grace of the wife, the light of the grace of a wife, the light of her husband. And these women are not wives right now. They're a bunch of succubus demons, man. A bunch of whores and gremlins. It says, and her discretion will fatten his bones. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. It says, and there's nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Yeah, she's, or you know, under the orders and under the rulership of her husband. That's what a female is supposed to do. That's called being feminine, man. Being subordinate, submissive to your husband. Which these women are not doing that, man. These women are not shamefaced. They're not silent, man. They're out here just clamorous at the mouth, you know, because no one can tell them nothing, basically, because they're female, so they can run their mouth, and you know, if a man raises up his hand to, you know, attack her, the man's in the wrong, you know. So this society is just arse backwards. That's why when Yahweh Shai comes, these women are going to be humbled. Even before Yahweh Shai returns in the last these last, you know, last days. Slakia. These women are going to be humbled, man. Last video I just put up said these Evites are going to eat that humble pie. You're going to eat that humble pie, man, because this shit has got, the Lord's had enough of your mouth, man. Your proud, you know, pump lips and all that, man. The Lord going to humble you heifers, you know, like he did before. And he cursed your privy parts and all that, and he cursed your bald ass head, the nigger woman. He cursed your scalp, because you women are pump and proud, man. You know, the Lord gonna humble you heifers again. A lot of you ain't gonna make it, man, especially the nigger woman. So yeah, man, as I said, man, Bbl demons are out here. Brothers, just be mindful, man. You know, just because it looks good on the outside don't mean it's all intact on the inside, man. A lot of these heifers, BBLs ain't even attractive anyway, but these heifers are definitely confused, and they're very they got them demons are activated on the highest level through these heifers, man. So you gotta be careful, man. Be circumspect, you know. But anyway, with that, I'll close out. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.